What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Every Dad podcast. We are hanging out today. We have a great group of guys, two of which are old friends, one of which is a new friend. Well, also an old friend, but a new friend on the podcast.
New Every Dad.
Today, a new Every Dad friend.
I think it's Matt Wright.
A new Every friend. What?
I think you're talking about Matt Wright.
You think it's Matt Wright?
I think.
Did I say?
Think right.
Oh.
Think right.
I like that.
When you think podcast, you should think Matt Wright for this episode. Yep. We got Matt Wright here. Thank y'all for making me make that really cheesy. And I didn't have a choice.
Well, people in Panama City will know what that is.
That's true.
Like, they'll put the pieces together.
That's right.
You know, the tons of people that probably watch worldwide will not know what that is.
Is it?
But, you know, people in Panama City will.
Would it be copyright if we put if we did, and this is just me thinking, if we did like a light bulb and then instead of like a house in the center, it was just the words Every Dad.
Ooh.
And then we leaned up against it and we were like,
that probably would.
that's probably pretty close. Yeah.
Copyrighted.
Too close probably even.
That's y'all's logo.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind though, as long as it
Would they be flattered?
I would be
price?
flattered. I mean, I appreciate the free commercial. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Well.
Anyway,
It's not mine to make that call.
Understand.
But yeah.
just the creative juices are flowing, huh?
Yeah,
Ty?
I think so.
Just thinking through it.
You asked me to do the intro. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good?
Yeah.
Not the obligatory, how's everybody doing?
Oh, sorry. Let me word it differently.
I mean, who does that?
Why do you always say something about
Blakey
me?
boy,
Like,
you good? How you doing? You good?
you can start doing it.
Thank you for jumping in here, Matt.
Like,
This is feeling good. This is comfortable. This is where we need to be.
You can start.
This is...
It's not my job, you know.
Well, then stop talking about mine.
I didn't. Who was talking about you?
We are filming, right?
We are.
This is good?
It's all right.
Okay.
We love each other here on the Every Dad
We do.
podcast. Just Blake and I don't always get along.
That's
it's
right.
okay.
But it's the way we like it around here.
Yeah.
Brotherly love.
It's good.
Brotherly love. Anyway, we do have Matt Wright with us. You are a friend of all of us, so we're thankful that you are here, dude. Thanks for taking the time
Thank you for having me.
to come out on a... Did I take your spot, dude?
No,
All right.
I am listening eagerly to what you're going to say next. I am excited to be here. Everything's good. My coffee's here.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, dude, thank you for hanging out with us. We're probably just gonna ask you some really weird questions about your life and, get you to give us some advice on being a dad and things like that. So, before we kind of jump into all that, just tell us, real quick, how many kids you have?
2 kids.
2 kids.
Yeah.
That's good. We actually have a pretty diverse audience.
I think I'm trying to reach all audiences here for y'all. I know y'all trying to reach
Thank you
worldwide
very
here.
much.
So 2.
And
2.
how long have you and your wife been married?
So 2013. So this will be year 13. Going on year 13. Currently 12.
Yeah.
That's not fair. You just get to count because you were married in 2000. Is that right? Wait,
What?
2013. Can you edit that out? That was pretty bad math on my end.
Oh my goodness gracious.
That's, you know what? Don't edit it. I'm
Yeah.
not good at math. Brittany is, though.
Brittany's
Your
really
wife's
good
really
at
good at
is.
math.
Yeah.
I would like to start
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
All right. How long have you been married? 13 years?
Wow. This year will be 13.
Yeah.
I thought, never mind.
It's funny how math works, and you minus
It is.
yeah.
It is.
So much is happening right now.
It's a weird episode.
Anyway,
I like this one.
And you are what is your job? What do you do? How do you make money? What do you
Yeah, so I'm in real estate. Got in that about 2021, right around after COVID. So it was actually 2020. So I apologize. It was COVID year. Yes, I've been doing that, and I'm at Think Real Estate, as y'all been saying that word a lot. There's the plug. Yeah. Actually sold 2 people here houses. I'm representing 2 of the people here on this.
There's was it Google review? There's
a Google review floating out there
that I posted
from both of you, and I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been good.
I did the review?
You did. I appreciate it. Thank
was
you.
I
Thank you.
officially a record for you with most houses involved in a single transaction?
Absolutely.
Was it 4
Yeah.
or
So
5?
so Blake, I got the opportunity to sell Blake's house, and he bought a house. And the people buying Blake's house had a person buying their house, and the people that Blake was buying the house from were buying a house.
So all on contingency.
Correct. So if the people that were
It was
the
stressful.
5th domino of this transaction, if they were to fall out, which it was actually leaning that way at one point, it would have killed 5 deals.
And you had all 5 deals.
I wish I did not. I had 2 of the 5,
okay.
but we were still working. I was working with 3 other agents. So it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was crazy. But yeah, you were my absolutely the most dominoes, if you will, in
we
one
had, what was it,
transaction.
a 2-week delay.
Yeah, because
other than that, everything else was really smooth.
But yeah, Domino 1 was supposed to be like a cash deal, easy, make it go awesome, and they switched some things up on us and started to throw some wrinkles. But it was all good. It was all good. Got him in the house now. So.
Yeah.
I appreciate Matt probably more than he knows, because I have like flooded with stuff work-wise and everything else, and I was just like, all right, Matt, I'm here. This is you. Just handle all this for me. I trust you, and went above and beyond. And I was just like, I always felt like I was good, because if I couldn't remember something, I just would shoot him an email or a text. And I think we're going to get into this a little bit, but you're very reachable. You work your tail off, which I appreciate. Which I think you and I also probably that. We're similar, but that probably comes with its own struggles in terms of this work-life balance thing. I think
and that's kind of what because we all know you. Like you're pretty public as far as like you're seen quite a bit. We know what your life is here at the church. You go to church with us, and so you're very active in a lot of ministries here at the church, but your job's very active as well. So one of the things that we kind of want to talk about is like this whole work-life balance. Like how do you, but we'll add the caveat of, leading well spiritually at home with your kids and with your wife on top of, some of the things that your son deals with. So like you got a lot, right? You got a lot that happens, and there's a lot that you got to balance. So, and Blake, I'll let you kind of speak to this. I know y'all kind of similar on that. Like, how are you managing? Like, what's some things that you can say to dads and husbands as far as, this managing work and life at the same time, but still leading well?
Yeah. So I've thought about this quite a bit, because I assume that's probably the direction this would go at some point. Having balance, I actually pride myself on trying to be balanced, right? Like I feel like because I do have my hands in a lot of things, and I feel like I do a lot of things well. I've sometimes struggled with not doing anything great. That's like probably one of my biggest struggles, is like that I am trying to be too balanced. I try to do a little bit of everything, that I sometimes never reach the full capacity of what I would like to be. But I've come to realize that this idea of being balanced is also a facade. In the day, I have non-negotiables, right? My family is that. My family, church. Now, obviously, I have to make a living, right? So my business is, of course, one of those pillars, if you will. The other stuff that I still prioritize and is important to me, those have to be the afterthought. Those have to be the extra. If I do have extra, those get the extra. Yeah. Because what I've learned is, whenever I was trying to do a little bit of everything, and I feel like those other things, if I felt like those other things had to happen to fill my cup, if you will, it was never going to happen, right? Because I was always going to have to take away from Brittany or the kids, or my business was going to be taken away. And in the day, those had to get, if my family, let's say this week, my family is all of me, they get all of me, right? If my family, luckily right now, like, right, just come to do this is filling my cup, right? I love this. I love that I get to do this. But if, let's just say the kids were sick and I couldn't, or Brittany was sick, I wouldn't be here, right? And I know that's an obvious, but that also is going into the everyday life of things, right? Like, I've had to say no to a lot of things in my business, of what my business could be, because of the situation we find ourselves in, because my wife is a working mom. I'm picking up kids still, I'm helping coach Lindley's volleyball team right now. Like, I want to do those things, and those are non-negotiables for me. But to try to do it all, and I struggle with that, right? Because again, and I'll get into this a little bit with the business, but like saying no to things and not reaching what I think I could be, it killed me at first. But I've reprioritized that, and understanding what's important has helped me stay grounded.
Yeah.
And this is what I was most interested to talk with you and learn from you about, because what I was trying to get at earlier is, it's very clear to me your work ethic is off the charts. Like, you're a doer. Yeah. you like to see things happen. And again, during the process of us selling and buying a home, it's like you were always available. I knew that if I had a problem, or I could, I needed something from you, that you were going to respond pretty promptly. And you have a job like me where you probably need to be around your phone and on it, and by your computer and doing you need to be generally really available to your clients. And I'm at a point where it's like I find myself on a daily basis now sometimes having to choose, and it's like if you have your priorities right, like you have to understand what's going to win when those priorities start to clash, right? When something's really calling your attention, but then your family's really calling your attention, like if you're constantly choosing what should be a lesser priority, like that's where we get ourselves into trouble. And I think it's, generally speaking, it's a good nature to have as a man, to be hardworking and to want to strive to achieve great things. And I think it's better to have that, like to lean in that direction, have to dial it back, than to be like, lazy or unmotivated and unachieving and someone trying to push you out the door. Like, hey, you really need to go do something and like achieve something and provide in a way that you're not doing right now. So you seem to be hitting that at a stage in your life where it's like, okay, I'm right at this beginning of my career, and there's all these opportunities, and like I can see all these shiny things that I really want to do and achieve, but how do I make sure that I get to that level or do the best I can and achieve all these things without like sacrificing what's most important? So it seems like you're in a place that you're starting to figure that out a little bit. So I'm interested. I don't know if I have a question mixed in there necessarily, but
I was still waiting for it.
I admire that about you.
I appreciate it.
I'd love to learn more about how you got to that point, I suppose. And if you did struggle with it previously, what was it that snapped you out of it per se? Or like, did you ever have times where you weren't getting it right and then there was consequences to it and you realized like it wasn't worth it? Maybe that's the question.
So I'll go to this part of my life, and I hope this answers your question. So I started real estate part-time. I had another job, had a career that I was fully into. I'd been in that position for, at that time, 8 years, and I really thought that was my future. I do invest whatever I go into. I'm pretty loyal. I stay with it pretty well, and it was hard for me I really thought that real estate was going to be a side gig. I really did. That was my intentions. Man, when it took off, trying to burn from both ends, like that was... Yeah, it was nice to have two incomes, and I was doing well in real estate, had this job, but man, I was burning at both ends, and I was a shell of what I should have been. So for me to then ultimately, and I won't get into about all the core of who I am, but like to let go of that job, to let go of that security was a massive deal for me. And so for me to do that, it was really hard. I stayed real estate part-time for 2 years, and I should have left literally like the first month. Like it was evident, obvious, and God was obviously calling me to it. And I could have made that leap at any point, but I was like holding on. And so, yeah, like there was the whole idea of balance was never there. Like I thought I was balancing because I had 2 jobs and I was still being dad and still being husband and still doing all these other things, but it was just a joke because I was like becoming something I didn't want to become. And I really was... my priorities were wrong. So now for me, I guess by having that experience, now not having 2 jobs, now I feel like I have a lot of time when I really don't, but I think I learned what it was like to have no time. Mm-hmm. But the thing I struggle with still though, Blake, is that I am very present, but like my phone's already, I've already had like 7 text messages I can feel on my phone or my watch. And like, it's like my reaction is to be like, to look at it, and I do that at home. And Brittany gets on to me. She's like, what are you doing? Like, be present. I'm like, you're right. So sometimes I just have to
where I am.
Put the phone away.
I'm still, and I think it's getting better, but like turning my brain off is by far the hard. And because I'm constantly thinking about what I've got to work on and what I want to do and what's it's hard to come home and turn that switch off. I don't even know if that's possible, like completely turn it off immediately. Yeah. Like sometimes it's more of like, okay, I need like a 10 minutes to just sit and like take some time, breathe, pray, whatever, like get myself out of work mode and into dad mode, if that makes sense. Well,
I think the difference for me is like, and we're all different, right? Like I don't have to ever turn it off. Like it's just,
you never stop, bro.
Yeah. Like if you know my dad, like you would know where it comes from. Yeah. Like my dad never stops, like to the point where we have to physically make him stop sometimes. So it's just built in me. But that's also the issue is that I don't have to, and my people around me need me to. And so I have to just realize sometimes like I don't need to stop, but I need to be stopped.
That's a good word. Totally. No, that's extremely valuable to realize. I mean, and I think I can relate to aspects of that. I mean, ministry is another one where people just, and it's interesting, but it always feels like the most important conversations or the person that needs something else, is always in the moment where, you already have scheduled, to be around your family or, whatever. And I find myself a lot of the times, having to intentionally shut that down, not because I need to. I'm also somebody that's, very, very extroverted. I enjoy having those conversations, and I could just do that all the time. It brings me life. It gives me energy, to be involved in other people's lives in a meaningful and impactful way. But like one of the things that I've started to do is I'll let Catherine know, hey, I'm going to be home, and then I'm going to literally sit in the driveway for like 8 to 10 minutes. I'm just going to close my day out, send my conversation, like send the text messages that I need to send. Something that I'll do now is I'll schedule out the text messages, and I'll literally start my day the night before, and I was way too, literally just a couple months ago, I figured out I could do that, and it's been a game changer for me.
Like a delayed send or scheduled
yeah, you can click
emails.
Scheduled later. Yeah, you can send. So I'll
straight
start,
from your iMessage.
Literally, yeah. I'll show you how to do it in just a second. I'll do it right now.
He told me too. It's amazing.
And
Really
so yeah,
helpful.
I'll send. So most of the times when I text you in the morning and I'm like, hey man, just want to let you know I'm praying for you.
Well, I just got one of those 2 days ago.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was, but no, when it
I've
happens,
never gotten one of those, and I freaking work with you, man.
dude. I'm about to schedule one out
right
for
now.
The
I
entire
want it to be
month.
real. I want
every morning.
Is this
real.
AI generated? Are you at least typing these
No, it's
out? or-
TY generated. It's me.
TY generated.
It's literally me. I'm here. I'm here for it. I'll be here all day. And that wasn't AI. That was me too.
We used to have a dad joke jar for all of 2 episodes.
Yeah, but I couldn't afford to keep paying into it. All of that to say. So yeah, so that's one of the things that, kind of I've started to do is, kind of shut my day down that way. And I'll even leave my phone, not even because people may or may not need me, but again, going back to that, it's more valuable in that moment. Non-negotiables are family and, and wife and kids is, I'll literally take that and I'll leave my phone, in the truck sometimes even until the kids go down, and then I can, kind of pull that back out. What are some of those things that maybe you have that, you've just kind of had to learn, in your own personal life or disciplines that I'm sure, you as your wife's saying, hey, I need you to kind of be, turn it off, what are some of those things that you've had to learn? I'm sure there's been several.
I think, you hit the nail on the head. The only way is to physically put it away. Because again, we're connected everywhere, man, all the time. And that is where I fell at probably the most, is that, it's never all the way away. But it's also knowing too, it's also the planning, right? If I plan my day out properly and know hey, sometimes there are fires that have to be put out legitimately. I literally laugh and sometimes call myself a fireman, because most of the times what we deal is there's always something that's going to be happening. And listen, if I'm representing someone's home, it's the biggest transaction of their life. I told Brittany, and she's aware of that. I don't get the luxury sometimes to just put it aside. This is a big deal. If, Blake needs me in that moment, I'm not going to just put him off. Right. But at the same time, because of my nature of my job, it's filtered through me. Right. And so most of the time I can put it away if I plan properly. Yeah. A lot of the times where I find myself that I'm not doing that is because I haven't planned appropriately. Yeah. I didn't do the things that I should have done prior to that, to where I felt like I had to have it and I was dealing with it when it should have been dealt with 10 o'clock that morning instead of 4 o'clock at PM or whatever. So I think it's just the execution of that. And, I know the game plan. I think that's what's frustrating for us is a lot of times as dads and as individuals is we know the game plan and the right thing to do. It's just actually executing it. But yeah, I would say going back to non-negotiables, keeping the main thing, right? And if my family is the main thing when I'm home, it really is sad if you think about it. Think about how much time we actually get with our families. Remove weekends, my goodness, we're all super involved in church. Sundays are very busy, right? Saturdays, let's just say you do get a Saturday. And again, I got open house a Saturday. There's 3 hours of my day that, again, but it's part of it, right? That's part of my job. And we know that, the luxury I have is, so I have built this around, Brittany is off on Fridays, right? Y'all are off on Fridays.
We work from home on Fridays.
Correct. Sorry.
Just make that.
She works from home on Fridays.
We work from home on Friday.
I have built my schedule to where I try to do everything I can to be home on Friday.
Yeah.
Now she knows that things are going to happen, but to get that intentional time has been a absolute game changer. And that's been honestly, I don't say this lightly, it's been life-changing for us and for our marriage. The kids obviously don't get that because they're at school still, but, she's still priority number one. And so, try to make that work, because if me and her aren't working, everything else ain't working.
Yeah. So Ty and I, we have somebody that comes to the church on a semi-regular basis and does some leadership training. And we may have mentioned this phrase on the podcast before, but one of the things that he said probably a couple years ago that I still resonate with is like, when you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And I'm like, that's for real. Like if I'm saying yes to all these things, it's ministry, or it's stuff that's urgent, or it's stuff that's, putting food on the table. If I'm saying yes to something, I'm saying no to something else. So typically in my life, I was saying yes to so many other people in those conversations that are super important. But in those times I was saying no to my family, and, and then vice versa. When you say no to something, you're saying yes to something. Like, so
that's good.
I kind of flipped it into like, there's, luckily I have somebody that kind of works with my schedule now. And so like, I say no to something, and when I do that, I'm saying yes to something else. And so, that's been super impactful for me. But, let's talk about Jackson.
Okay.
Jackson, how old's Jackson?
Jackson's 5. He'll be 6 in April.
Yeah. Dude does not stop running, a little bit like his dad, right? So let's talk in the same scope of, still trying to grow your relationship with Jesus, stay faithful to that, stay faithful to leading family well, and, leading wife well. Then you find out some things about your son that you guys have to work through together. So, if you'll share just briefly a little bit about what's happening with Jackson, and then kind of talk about, how are you remaining faithful and leading well through all of that heavy stuff?
Yeah, so I'll try not to be long-winded. So y'all definitely give me a cue if I am, because this has definitely become like naturally the big part of my life. Yeah. So Jackson, around the age of 1-ish, and I'll give Brittany the credit here as a mother's intuition. Yeah. She knew something was definitely not quite there. We have an 8-year-old, so we knew all the milestones. We knew everything was like to have a child, and we knew like, hey, they should be doing this at this time frame and whatever. And Jackson just wasn't hitting those marks. And so it's funny, we look back at it, definitely in hindsight, we both avoided it, the conversation, because we just didn't want to be the person to say like, hey, I think something might be wrong with my child. Like, that's a really hard thing to say. And we were both kind of avoiding it, both kind of just hoping the time, we kept hearing the same thing, right? Like, hey, boys are delayed, but boys are this and so on and so forth. And people meaning well when they were saying it, right? They were trying to be encouraging, but Brittany just knew. And she had this intuition. She's like, nah, we need to do something. Yeah. We sought counsel, we sought advice, and we were able to get him, seen by a professional to evaluate him, right? And at a very early age, 1.5 years, we were able to make that determination, and they were like, yeah, he has autism. And I'll be honest with you, that first year and a half was the darkest time of my life. And I don't want to be over dramatic, and like, I've had a very good life. Like, I really have. I've never had a lot of tragedy. I really haven't. If you want to hear tragedy, like my dad's story, like I can compare my dad's story and be like, I haven't had tragedy, right? But it was, for me in my life, it was the hardest, darkest time. Trying to, again, as a dad, you have this son and you're so excited. And I was so excited having my daughter, right? And that was what made me a father. But naturally a boy, right? Like, that's going to be the one that carries your name, and that's the one that is going to do the things that I did growing up. We're going to play sports, and we're going to do all the things that I enjoy. I know what to play. I love spending time with my daughter, but playing Barbies gets a little old at times, right? So I get to play catch, and we get to play football and basketball and all these things, and my mind immediately goes to, I'll never do those things. And it went to the darkest places, right? And I started having this sorrow, the self-pity, the anger, everything that you could imagine. I started going to the dramatic things of like, well, I can't be a real estate agent anymore because we need better insurance. I need a more secure job. I need a job that's going to guarantee me a paycheck, because Brittany may have to take off work. Brittany may not can work because she's got to stay home. Like all these things. And I just start going, I got to step away from leading at the church. Like, cause everything you could imagine, my brain went there.
So you spiraled pretty quickly.
I did internally, right? Like, when I was having my low moments, like that text was like built out, right? Like I'm going to do this. And I would say to Brittany, just to throw something against the wall. But luckily we have, and this is just Christ, man, but like we've never been low at the same time.
Oh, wow.
Right? Like that's been the blessing. Brittany was very strong at the beginning. Like, cause she knew, she's like, man, I've known, like even since it was 6 months, like I just knew something was I just had this intuition. I had the hard time for that year and a half.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Brittany's had her moments, but man, she's strong, dude. She is so strong. Like she's just, I can't say enough about her, in that way. And so I had those moments and it was all built off pride. It was all built off pride that I wasn't going to get to have the life that I thought I was going to get to have because I had this vision of what that was going to look like. I'm also very much built about control. And like I make a lot of decisions, making sure that like I always make sure that the worst case scenario, I know what it is and it's not going to be that bad. Well, guess what? You don't get that choice with children.
Yeah.
Right? Like you get no control. And my greatest fear, I legitimately say this, my greatest fear in life has always been that my kids wouldn't have the fullest life possible. Right? Like that they would be born with special needs, or, deformity. Like they would be, something tragic would happen to my children. So when Jackson was born, I legitimately, guys, I say this, I don't say this lightly, like I legitimately almost in my head checked off the box, like, oh, kid's healthy, we're good, right? Because he came out 10 fingers, 10 toes, he's crying, like all these awesome things that you expect as a parent. And then when that happened, I had let my guard down. And I'm like, I wasn't prepared for this because I didn't expect him to have an issue, right? I have come to realize in the going to the spiritual side, God knows exactly what he's doing. I don't have to tell anybody that. It has grown me in a way that I could have never, ever grown without him. He has made me so much less concerned with the things of this world. I've stopped looking at things through a certain value. I don't put like value, like I very much weigh things, right? In a value scale. That's removed all that from me. Yeah. Right? Like I just now literally look at Jackson for what he is and appreciate him for who he is. And like the kid is amazing and he's awesome. And what hurts me probably is that not everybody gets to see that side of him. Yeah. Right? Like he definitely has his people. Like Brittany is definitely his person. Like he's a Velcro trial to Brittany. But like he's loving and he's nowadays having conversations with, like talking, like that's been a game changer. And I am blessed with that, right? Like we get to actually have communication with our child. A lot of people don't get to have that in this community. And so like my loved ones would tell me that I'm a pessimist. I say I'm a realist. I don't like to use that word. I think it's a very negative word. But I am. Like I definitely look at things, at a glass half empty. I do. And Jackson has forced me to not be that. Now I still do in my business. Like if you were to ask me, Matt, what's your business going to do this year? I'd be like, it's going to be my worst year. Like it's just the way it's just the way I'm built. But man, with Jackson, like I have all the hope and belief and trust that like his life's going to be full. It's going to be awesome. And like, I can't really look at it any other way because in that year that I didn't look at it that way, it was not a good place.
Probably miserable.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So I hope I thought this conversation, I say this conversation in my head all the time about like Jackson's story because I do want it to ultimately make an impact for other families. And I'll say this, Ryan, the thing I do hope that gets brought out from this conversation above all else, if there's someone watching this that is having those questions, that's having those doubts, or they have loved ones that they're like, man, like I wish they would just go seek the help or the attention. Yeah. I know people hate labels. I get it. We did too. In the day they gave us that paper and said Jackson has autism, we didn't have to do a single thing with it. Yeah. It didn't change a single thing. Yeah. We chose to, obviously, because I think that was the wisest decision. Man, it has provided and put so many people in our life that support him and care about him and also have helped us nurture him and also understand the way his brain works. Yeah. And from that, we've been able to be better parents. You know, I definitely want to give a shout out to Lindley, like his sister. Like, she was designed for him. Like, man, she is so caring. Like, the empathy that she now possesses because of the brother she has, is going to make, and we tell her all the time, like, baby, it's going to make you're going to be something that you never would have been without him. And I promise you're going to look back at this and be thankful for him.
Yeah.
And she doesn't look at him as a burden. Man, like, she is so enlightening for us.
Yeah.
And so our family's special, man. It really is. I don't say that. We're so blessed with him. We really are.
Well, and you know, I've had some of those conversations with Brittany, like, as you guys were, because we worked together, and you know, as you guys were figuring this out, and you know, just seeing the loving hurt. I get,
right.
You know, she hurt for her kid, but just so lovingly wanting the best for that, and then, you know, knowing you, and just seeing how you guys stayed strong, you stayed faithful, you still sought Christ in your life, and you know, I hope that's an encouragement to you that, you know, hey, you guys lived it out. You know, it's easy to say, it's easy, words are easy, but the action sometimes is difficult. Like, you guys lived it out, and that's known, and people see that, and I think that's probably why you're in a lot of leadership spots at the church. It's people see that, but
you know, Ryan,
it's a big deal.
I'll say this real quick. You know, this is crazy to think about, but this is legitimately, like, real. I talk about my life and how I truly say, like, I've had a great life. I really have. Like, I've had a pretty easy life. Like, you know, parents that loved me, took care of me, all these different things. I used to legitimately, like, struggle with the verse. You know, it talks about how, you know, God will give, you know, the greatest trials to something like his greatest warriors, right? Like, and I used to sit there and think, like, I never had a trial. And I almost, in a weird way, like, asked for some, but I didn't. Like, I didn't want it, but I knew that, like, man, maybe I'm not like one of his greatest warriors. Like, maybe I'm not fit for a trial. Yeah. Like, maybe I'm not strong enough. And then when it happened, I didn't have the foresight to realize that, like, that's what was happening. Yeah. But now I look back and I'm like, there's my trial. Yeah. Like, and we chose to make sure that it was easy to look inward and to look at ourselves and be like, me, myself, I, like, poor pitiful me. But, like, man, like, I'm a child of God, and, like, this life is his. Like, my life is for him. Yeah. And I have to make sure that, like, every single person who looks at me sees Christ and what I'm doing. And, you know, we failed, had many failures. But I hope that in the grand scheme of things, people have been able to say, like, and they haven't seen a sweat. I hope they have. Now, there's people that have, absolutely. But I hope from the overall perception.
Well, I want to talk about one of your failures.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, boy.
Gosh, convicting.
What? You know, sometimes we all do things in our life where we look back and go, I probably shouldn't have done that, or I probably shouldn't have let that photo be taken, right? Like, we all have that. There is a photo of Matt Wright. You're in a suit. Like, you are in, like, this nice suit. I don't know what type of ad you were going for, but you are literally holding, you got a leash, and there's, like, a Rottweiler on this leash, or a Doberman.
Doberman Pinscher.
Yeah. At the same time, you've got a AR-15 wrapped around you, like,
I do.
And what was that photo for? Like, how do you market?
I haven't seen this photo.
What is happening?
Yeah, so I think I have that photo. If I have that photo or can get that photo, it should be showing on the screen right now. If not, I'm so sorry. But, like, what was that photo for? You were in a suit.
Yes, I was
getting face.
Yeah, I was getting professional photos for my business, of course. So I was in a suit, and the photographer was at their home, and their dog was there, and they're like, "Hey, this would be funny. Like, I got some props." And I'm like, "Let's do it." They're like, "You're the guy. You're the guy for the job. Like, we want to, like, let's just throw these props in just to be funny." And I still think it's funny, but
I can't wait.
I think
to watch the edit.
For certain clientele, that's the photo they get of me in my email signature.
Really?
It takes 5 seconds on your Facebook to know that you're not shy.
Yeah.
Sure, you're a confident
Yeah.
person in a good way. So
No, it's
You're in a rap video, like, aren't you?
no, I was not. I never got the privilege of being in that.
I thought you were in one.
That was when I was still part time. So I didn't get a chance to be in it because I was working the other job when they were doing that. No, I wasn't in that one.
Well,
I really thought that was going in a lot of different directions, and I'm like, I'm not going to admit myself to what you were going with.
no, we wanted to end on
wait till you see what he says before you confess to something else.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
just wanted to end on a light note. That's what I believe. We just wanted to end on a light note. But no, dude, we appreciate your heart for the people in your life and your family and the model that you lead. And you know, I think it's, you know, you guys live it out, and we see that. So thanks for sharing that story with us. Thanks for sharing a little bit about your life and that work-life balance, and just dealing with somebody, dealing with a kid with autism. You know, not everybody's going to understand that.
Yeah.
And, you know, and you do, and you're probably a resource for people. So, man, from Every Dad, we appreciate it, man.
No, than's for the platform, guys. I really do appreciate
Big
it.
Matt Wright fans over here.
Big
Thank you.
Matt Wright
Thank you.
fan, especially
Had
if
a
I,
finger, like a big, like.
if I can find.
He's number one.
I'm pretty sure I can get that photo. Like, I'm so excited.
Oh, it's floating out there for sure. I think it's probably on my page.
There you go.
I'll have to go delete that after
We'll
this.
get it. Ladies and
If
gentlemen.
not, we can just type that description into AI.
Yeah, it'll come up for
There
sure.
you go.
Won't be
All
hard.
right, Ty, you got anything else for Matt?
I'm good. I just appreciate you being here.
Easy.
Yeah. All right, Blake boy. You got anything? All right,
love
Matt.
you, Matt.
Hey, dude. Thanks. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening right here on the Every Dad Podcast.